The alleged host of the gathering where soccer star Senzo Meyiwa's murder was reportedly planned returns for further cross-examination on his alleged statement. The state says defense witness Sifiso Zungu gave a statement as an accomplice in exchange for indemnity. That's the Section 204 witness indemnity. But Zungu is now distancing himself from that statement. Linda Mnisi has been watching the story and joins me now as this matter continues. Linda, good morning to you. All right, so again, Sifiso Zungu in taking centre stage. That cross-examination continues. Just tease out some of the key elements of his testimony yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd remember right at the beginning of his testimony during evidence in chief, the state had highlighted the fact that he had given a statement as a Section 204 witness. This is essentially a witness, an accomplice basically, who gives evidence for the state in exchange for indemnity, but on condition that he tells the truth and nothing but the truth. So the defense at the time saying that according to them, because he had not been called to testify by the state, according to them, he does not then fit into what is called a Section 204 witness. He's not a Section 204 witness for the defense. He took the stand and detailed what he said was an arrest back in June 2020 that was characterized by severe assault. He was taken to 2 different locations. Now, yesterday, the circumstances around how the statement was taken came into sharp focus. He previously testified, Iman, that after he had been assaulted and taken to these 2 different locations, the municipal offices, the cemetery, and ultimately Primrose Police Station, he was later taken to meet the lead investigator, that's Brigadier Bongani Kininda, and another investigator in the case, that's Sergeant Batu Mohola. And in that meeting, one of the key things that he was asked about was whether or not his rights were read to him. And yesterday he tussled with the state over the fact that he had apparently said in his evidence in chief that he had been told that it would be important for him to know his rights. But he says on the stand, I didn't say that. What I said was that I was given a document which I did not read, right? And then he then explains how the statement was taken, essentially saying he was shown documents and he was told that one of the alleged lookout men, that's accused number 1, Mnisi, had already given information about him. And he said, because he had already given information about me, take whatever he said about me and put it in a statement. And that's what Brigadier Bongani Kininda did, according to him. And what he did, he then signed by placing the letter S on all the documents. But of course, the issue around the statement itself and, him, whether he knew what was contained in what Mnisi was saying, was factored in. Did he know what Mnisi was saying before he could say, take whatever he's saying about me and put it in a statement? And that's what he was asked yesterday. Let's take a listen.
And you say you did not know what Mnisi said about you?
Yeah. Yes, I am saying.
But how can you then ask them to transfer something that you did not know about into, as you put it, the statement that they said they were going to write?
But I wanted to move away from where I was. I had been assaulted there.
All right, so those assault allegations again, but also important to highlight that he then says he was not assaulted by the lead investigator. He was assaulted by the arresting officers. And he was asked, were you assaulted by the lead investigating officer? And Sergeant Batu Mohola, and he says, no. Were you threatened by them? He said, no, he wasn't threatened by them. So they then took him into the statement. He confirms on the statement there is his name. There's also his date of birth. Now, he then tussled with the state about, the signature there, because according to him, I signed by placing the letter S. So let's take a listen to what then he had to say.
All right, we might have to hold on a bit longer to hear what he has to say because we don't have a recap of that, but maybe just share with us what he had to say in response to that.
So according to him, there are discrepancies when it comes to the signature. So the state taking him through all the documents, and what he was then saying was the fact that he had placed an S, but the state says, is that an S? And he points out there is an S, And then he also confirms that there is a Zungu. We need to remember the witness's name is Sifiso Zungu, and he's affectionately known by his clan name as, Gwabini. But he says there is an S, there is a Zungu, but in the middle there is an F or a P, and I only have one name. So highlighting he seems to be tussling with the state over the fact that there appears to be discrepancies, and he says, I signed right by just placing an S. But with the state highlighting there's an S and then there's a Zungu, are you able to confirm those? And he insists, but there is a letter in between, and I only have one name. So he's going to continue today with that particular evidence, and scrutiny over that statement.
We talked about trial within a trial, it's drama within a drama, a statement within a statement. So, again, it's important to pursue that clarity, and that cross-examination then becomes quite key. Linda Mnisi, thank you very much. I'll release you. You've got 45 minutes to get to court before things start. All right, we'll leave it there with Linda Mnisi for the moment. More live updates from the Pretoria High Court throughout the course of the day.